Hello, Andrea St. Amon here. I want to talk about a real problem empaths are going to have over the holidays, so just be aware of it. This is not going to be totally be a Debbie Downer video, though. I want you guys to stay tuned to the end because I'm going to share an experience that happened with me today that's wonderful. So it shows I'm going to talk about a real world issue with being an empath and being so sensitive, but also how awesome it can be when we get ourselves under control. So first of all, I think the more we are aware of potential situations going into it, the better protected and better prepared we'll be. I mean, it's just like any situation, like a corporate meeting, the better you're prepared, the better you're going to perform and feel about it. So a big issue this holiday season is group energy. And empaths get group energy. So do not underestimate how much of the group energy will come into our bodies, physically into our bodies, and not necessarily with other people. We're going to understand all the undercurrents, all the motivations going on in a group, and there's going to be a lot more group settings, a lot more opportunities for those group issues coming through the holiday season. There's going to be families, there's going to be work parties, just social events, and everybody else in those group settings are also going to be on edge. Now, most of them are not going to be sensitive. They're going to be sensitive to, they feel chaotic or they feel harried during the holiday season, but they're not going to necessarily be sensitive like you. So what you're going to be picking up on and what literally will be coming through your body is that group current. And that will be the energy of chaos, the energy of heightened tension and conflict, because everybody's going to be a little bit more tension filled and conflict filled. And conflict to us, particularly if it's in a group setting, has one of two effects. It will either wear us out, or it feels like toxins in our bodies and we can't sleep for days. So breaking that down a little bit, a lot of times what happens if we're in a group setting, and by we, I mean like empaths, seriously sensitive empaths, when we're in a group setting, we kind of start to accommodate everybody around us, which means we shrink. We really do. We start to shrink. But then we start to see like, oh gosh, he just said that, and he's taking advantage of this person, he's disrespecting that person, and she is just sucking the energy out of the room. And we start to take all of that in, and it parks right here. For some of you, it might park right here. It might park here, here, here. But a lot of us, it's parking somewhere. The toxins are going to be right here. It's the conflict, that conflict. And those energies are going right through us. And if we shrink and don't say anything, and we just take it in, well, everybody else leaves the group feeling fine. Like they weren't even aware of all of the motivations and all the underlying stuff that we're sensitive to. So we walk away, they feel great. We're hanging on to all this stuff. So later we might say something, or in the moment, if we're quick enough, we might say, hey, let's change the tone, or let's do that. We might try to rescue the situation. And 9 times out of 10, we're gonna rescue the situation, or try. Even if we don't do it right in the minute, we might come back later and say something to rescue the situation, to take up for somebody, or to speak up for somebody, or to speak up for ourselves. And then what happens? We're the baddie. So we actually think we're doing the right, big-hearted, kind and caring thing, and suddenly we're the baddie because we just called people out on their crap, and they don't want to hear it. So then all this conflict is coming directly at us, and they don't understand all of the subtle layers, all the sensitive layers of energy that we're speaking from. We might try to speak really clearly. We might try to say, hey, this is what's going on. They're not going to get it. They're just not going to get it. And we're the bad guy. So now we've got other conflict sitting in us. And then, I mean, oh my gosh, empaths, this is true whether it's a conflict with one person or a conflict in a group situation, even if it's a very polite, well-meaning conflict, it's something at work, it's professional, it's not like you're screaming and yelling or anything like that. Any conflict situation, particularly though in a group situation, a group setting, it sits with us empaths way longer than it does anybody else. So other people might be fine with conflict, they blow up and they move on, they're fine. Or they have a direct conflict interaction and they're fine, or they kind of get over it in a day. You guys, it sits with us. Dr. Judith Orloff who's done a lot of medical research on empaths and is an empath herself, she says it sits for 3 to 5 days. That's real. That's not you being crazy. That's not you making a mountain out of a molehill. That's real. So other people might have moved on, or they might have understood, they might have come around, and we're still hanging on to it. So, and it's not necessarily that you're replaying the same thing over and over again. It's just that it's physically in our bodies, and it takes a lot to get it out of our bodies. And it might mean you don't sleep for 3 to 5 days, or it might mean that you're literally in the bed for 3 to 5 days. Everyone's going to react differently. I will say during this holiday season, be really careful about what social situations you put yourself in. Really think ahead of time. Do I really want to go to that party? Or can I just pop in, say hey, and pop back out again and not get engaged? Including with your family member, including work parties. You don't have to go. You don't have to be involved in it. And know that every group setting, even if it's a work meeting, is going to have, things are going to be amped up a little bit more. And if we don't know that going in, we're going to let all those currents go right through us. So especially it's hard when something catches us off guard and you're actually in a group that you think you're safe, and next thing you know, you're in that protective mode and you're understanding every little layer of sensitive energy and nobody else gets it but you, and you end up taking it all on. That's real. So drink lots and lots and lots of water to literally flush that crap out of your system. Before I get to the good stuff, I want to make sure I set everything on my notes. I think I did. You guys can always ask me questions later. This is what I wanted to say. The more sensitive you get, the more sensitive you become, the less tolerant you're going to be of situations that aren't in alignment with you. Yeah, and that's not getting a tougher skin. It's just the higher your vibration rate gets, the more you physically cannot tolerate. You mentally and emotionally, none of your bodies can tolerate situations that are not in alignment. That's real. That's when you actually really do have to demand, step up for yourself and draw lines, even if you end up being the baddie, and remove yourself. So that's real. Here's the good side. The more sensitive you become and the higher your vibration rate gets, the more sensitive you are to all the subtle good stuff that nobody else gets either. You can heal. You can be sensitive to all the healing energies out there, which is angel energy and spirit energy. And I had such a wonderful experience with that today. So I don't know how much you guys know about this. So this is going to come into play in a minute. I used to be a professional dancer. I also used to do ghost tours in our old haunted jail, and I love the jail energy so much. The spirit energy in there is so amazing. The guards I love. I just love that space. It's also, and this is a secret I probably shouldn't be putting online, it's a place where if you want to park downtown here, you can park because it's not really strictly enforced. So whenever I know I'm going to be needing to park past the 2-hour limit, I'll park right in front of the jail. So I did that today, parked in front of the jail, got out, and I always in the back of my mind, I'm like, hey guys. So I get out of my car and I immediately heard, are you coming in? I heard it from one of the guards inside, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so nice. So I said, no, I'm not. And I actually said this out loud, and I realized there was a guy across the street watching me talk out loud to myself to the building. I was like, no, I'm not coming in today. Can you do you mind watching my car for me? And I saw a lightning bolt in my mind's eye. I saw a lightning bolt come right from the top floor and surround my car with this bubble of glowing gold light. And I was like, oh, okay, thanks. So I leave, and 3.5 hours later, I come back, and there's no ticket. And I just said, oh, thank you so much for guarding my car. And I saw a guard, again, in my mind, I saw a spirit, but it was a guard I'd never seen before. And he said, you betcha, gal. And he kind of like that. And he had this jaunty way of moving and speaking. And I was like, wow, he's somebody from like the 20s or 30s. Like he had a very different manner of speech, like a hipster kind of way of speaking. And he went inside the jail, got in my car, and the song that was playing on the radio was Capital City's Safe and Sound. One of my favorite songs. I'm actually going to post the video in the link below because I was like, oh man, you guys kept my car safe and sound. That's so cool. So there will be messages everywhere that you guys can get healing energy from our spirits, because they're constantly going to be wanting to help us all the time, but particularly this holiday season. So when you're feeling overwhelmed and just strung out, ask for help from the spirit world. So I came home, I'm thinking, I want to tell my group about the song. I couldn't remember who sang it. So I Googled it, and I had never seen the video before. Y'all, you got to watch the video. I looked at the video. The video starts with an abandoned building. There's a lightning bolt that goes through it. The place wakes up. And of course, some of the lyrics, some of you guys might know this, some of the lyrics are, we can lift you up. So take that message from spirit and get lifted. But then the first little bit was these like 1920s dancers. So I was like, my guard sent me that. That was so cool. So we can all lift each other up this holiday season. We can get through this, and we can get through it not just getting through it like surviving, but we can get through it with grace, and we can get through it with happiness and joy. And in this season, anytime anybody needs some help with any empathic abilities, even if you just want one phone call with me, one call is fine. You know, you don't have to do a whole package, but it's something. It was great. A reading will really get you focused back on you instead of on everybody else. But this is a great time to reach out for a reading or any sort of assistance from me to coach you through this holiday season personally, but also reach out to your spirit world. And I hope you have lots of joy and uplifting from watching the video I'm going to post below. Okay, love you guys. Mwah. Bye. Come on. Oh, now my computer stopped.